And today is my opportunity to share with everybody what are some of the things I'm passionate about. And I guess I only have half an hour to do the presentation. Therefore, I have collated some information in a deck of slides. If you can bear with me, I will just get on to the slides straight away. Okay, I did this write-up because there was this private home chef community that asked me to talk a little bit about what I like to do and what I'm passionate about, and if there's opportunity to host a home dining for a group, what do you want to do and what are some of my fortes? So I did this write-up basically to explain a little bit about myself, okay? And for many years, I have stuck to these few principles. You know, we have to love the taste of healthier food because, as you know, there are a lot of adulterated foods in a supermarket or in the market. People use cheaper ingredients, substitutes, and flavorings and stuff like that. And in the long run, it can be really that good for your body. So I believe in using kind of a wholesome ingredients. Yeah. So to me, um, healthier food also must taste good as well. Yeah. Eat right and learn some healthy cooking techniques. So over the years, I've gone to for a lot of cooking classes, some private, some institutes, and some overseas as well. Whenever I travel to some countries, when there are some cooking classes, usually I will sign up for that if there are some good takeaways. And the next point is I will try to keep my favorite foods as part of a healthy diet. All right. And then I also now that without my mother, I also need to make sure that I prepare time-saving food choices. Right. Not just good value but convenient. And given that we do not want to go to the supermarket or market every 2 days, we have to buy food and prepare food that can help us save a lot of valuable time. Lastly, food is pleasure. And to me, this is not something we want to compromise, right? Okay, next slide. This is a bit about myself, how I will continue to embark on this journey of cooking. And do I want to be a professional home chef? Probably not. I still love to go out there and do some work, be it pro bono or getting paid for some services. So again, this is a write-up that I done for that group of chefs that are recruiting home chefs, okay, or aspiring home chefs. Now, I just thought I'd share with you some of these valuable cookbooks that I've collected over the years. I know quite a few I've attended some of their classes. Not the full culinary program. That one is very costly and also it will take a very long time. But my favorites for many years have been Japanese, Italian, because it's a lot of communal food, and it's very what they call down to earth rustic food. You know, not the fine dining. Of course, my friend has also gifted me these two books from the French Laundry. They are very well known in the world for gastronomical kind of food cuisine. And then healthy greens. So these are some of the books in my library. For that, I'll move on. Another one, I also believe in very healing food. They always say food is medicines, right? You should consume food like this is medicines rather than you become ill and then you start taking drugs as medicine. So we want to eat food that we enjoy, and food should provide the nutrients as well as the healing benefits for your body. All right, so that we don't end up eating drugs. Okay, these are the few good ones. I read up some of the recipes from the Mayo Clinic because it is a food hospital. What they do is they use food to heal people of their sicknesses due to lifestyle diseases and stuff like that. And this other book is also quite good. 250 recipes. Simple cooking. Again, food should not we should not have too many cuisines mixed in one meal in one sitting. All right. And then I'm also into home remedies. I think Enjoy is, I love talking with Enjoy because she's also into a lot of home remedies and stuff like that. And I'm also a big believer in homeopathy. Healing teas, there are a lot of great teas, and I know a lot of you already know what is a good cooling tea lah if you're heat tea, or what is a good warming tea if you're feeling too chilly, for example, right? But there are some books out there, and these are the few I've collected, and I found them to be quite good. I've tested out a lot of the recipes in there. They are not just, you know, aromatic, but supposedly they really work. Okay. And another one is a TCM concept. Some of you might pay attention and some of you might not. You realize that not all foods should be cooked together. A very simple example, you should not cook tofu and spinach together. You know why, right? Yeah. Because not only the taste, but actually some of this can be 相克. They call it 一打 and 相克. Good to go together and not good to go together. So this is a very traditional Chinese medicine concept. And I'm also a big believer in stuff like that. Therefore, if you cook with too many ingredients, you tend to cancel out each other's benefits. You know that, right? Okay, and the last slide again, some of this food that, this is vegan, just to share with you. This is a vegan cooking book. I went to a vegan wellness retreat and I bought this book from there. For people who may want to stop eating meat or cut down on a lot of meat dishes, and or allergic to milk, not tolerant of lactose, milk, and egg, vegan diet is a very good option to go to. All right. And of course, these are some of the, again, very TCM concept, food that's good for the hair lah, for the lips lah, okay? So we have to start paying attention to stuff like that, right? If you want to keep ourselves young and healthy, and looking great. And of course, I also have the other popular books like, Violet Woon lah, Jamie Oliver's. Future Place is a heritage book, So this book actually has a collection of all the home chefs. And it's a very Peranakan area. So there are some good recipes in there. But with Peranakan cooking, it's always like, wow, 20 ingredients to start with. So not exactly my palate, but I enjoy eating, don't get me wrong, I enjoy eating Peranakan food, but I do not enjoy preparing Peranakan food. But that is why I have decided that I will make an XO sauce myself that is a fusion between that is a great sauce for me to work with European cuisine as well as Asian cuisine. Okay? Okay, next, I'll just quickly touch on when Terence asked me what are some of the food that you think you want to prepare or make it available for members. Remember I shared with you some of the chefs I've learned from. If you do picnic food or food that you want to take to a picnic or to a party or to a gathering, you have to be very concerned about the types of food that you prepare for that picnic or for that gathering. So there are a few principles that I like to share. Okay, picnic food should not be too wet and too much liquid, okay? And it must hold good for a few hours and so that they don't spoil easily. So you have to be a well-simmered food, actually. And that's also a very Japanese concept. So Japanese chefs will tell you that don't anyhow, just like you don't take a sushi box out for picnic, right? I mean, you're asking for trouble, okay? And you do not want to have a cucumber on the bread, right? You will turn soggy and it tastes horrible. So the choice of food is very important when we want to cater, okay? Or we want to take up to outdoors for eating. And the other item that I have is something I created together with a relative who is into TCM and all that, a powerhouse XO sauce, XOX, I call that XOX. And I'll show you later what I've done with this sauce. The other one is fruit chutney. Fruit chutney is a bit like your fruit jam, all right? Again, I try not to use a very soury strawberry that has a lot of liquid, and then you need to reduce it to jam, and then you add tons of sugar. Again, I'm not into lots of artificial sugar or added sugar. For fruit chutneys, I tend to use apricot that is already packed with sweetness. Apricots, longan, or figs for that matter, dry figs. All these dried fruits already have a lot of sweetness in it. So by doing that, you do not need to add sugar unnecessarily. Understand? And again, these are some of the tricks I learned from all these wellness retreats. You do not want to add a lot of sugar into a fruit jam. I mean, you're eating empty calories again. All right. Okay, next one is some of them have tried my carrot cake. Banana cake is a variation of that recipe, but because I personally love bananas and I love to also have very nutty cakes. And for these two cakes, I try to make it as nutritional as possible with flaxseed and again, my vanilla, my true vanilla essence, not fake ones, not flavoring. Okay, these are some good pictures of the cakes I've made, banana and walnut cake. You see, it's packed with a lot of stuff so that you can eat it as a meal. Okay, the next slide shows you what are some of the typical ingredients people use for XO sauce. So I'm recently I look at this by Adam Liu. He's an Australian Asian. So instead of Jinhua ham, he actually used this prosciutto, which is another cured ham from the Italian family. And then this one is more of again the very traditional Chinese style. They use cured ham. All right. So most of the ingredients, I think most of you kind of recognize them. But again, I'm against oyster sauce. I'm against that because it's got a lot of it's got a lot of ingredients in there that I do not support. So again, some of you might say, hey, your exo sauce should be have all these things. Well, I omitted some of these, in my opinion, not so healthy ingredients, and I replaced them with the based on the knowledge I have gained over the years to also make a very tasty sauce. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to pass on to Jean not so long ago. And I'm glad to hear from her that, yeah, it's very palatable. So, hey, I'm happy with that. Again, to each your own, everybody, may have a certain preference. Some more want more la, more oily. Okay, if you take a look at this slide, this is my exo sauce. It's kind of a wet but not oily. This is a picture from internet. You get the exo chiang look, and this is also the exo chiang look that you might find in restaurants. They are typically loaded with a lot of oil. And because I do not use cooking oil, I actually use a fresh extra virgin oil. So you need not have to drown the all these shredded, ingredients in lots of oil. What you want is nice flavoring and the color. So this is Adam Liu's, which I picked up from the internet. Again, this ingredients, these ingredients here, they are probably shown here. This is what he has used. Okay. Okay. Since I'm feeding myself also with this exo, so I don't believe in going cheap. I like to buy premium ingredients because I like to eat quality versus quantity lah. Okay. And when you eat nutritional food, you don't go hungry very often. But if you eat empty calories, you go hungry very, very often. So that is the principle that I was taught. So every meal must have nutrition packed. So that way you don't end up eating too much of rubbish food. Okay. So this is I'll just show you two key ingredients: the grade of scallop and the top grade. When I go to the store, I say, okay, give me the best dried prawns. I don't want to start from the bottom. I start from the top. All right, and scallop, and this is how the sauce looks like when it's done. My first batch, I put them in all sorts of sizes of jar. When guys ask me how do you sell them, I say, well, I kind of go by weight. All right, and I'll just show you a very quick video of how I use the sauce for pasta. Okay, I just put a tablespoon of that sauce, and then I add that pasta water, or you can use your stock if you want to. So it's very easy, right? You just reconstitute it with a bit of water. That's it. Very simple. and then you can toss it in pasta like this. Now these are far pictures. I actually have some pictures of my pasta, but I forgot to add that one picture in here. But this is my cha tao kueh. Oh, not my cha tao kueh, my kueh. So again, I use that sauce to flavor my kueh. Then I put a lot of eggs, and it's so yummy, and to me it's nutritional lah. Also got eggs, extra sauce. If you don't anyhow add all the not so good ingredients, your extra sauce itself is a powerhouse food. So this is what I like to do. And sometimes I just and my neighbor always ask me to buy a lot of this what they call chi chong fan, and they they take my extra sauce to go with the chi chong fan instead of the sweet, very sweet sauces, because all these sauces in the market they tend to have a lot of sugar, a lot of flour, a lot of adulterated ingredients. So personally, I don't want to put adulterated ingredients in my body. So putting a bit of hard work, a bit of time-saving ideas, you can actually have some of these foods in my pantry. Okay, this one, just to share with you, there are plenty of extra sauces available out there. Again, you have a choice what you want to buy. Incidentally, not too long ago, I also found out that Li Nanxing. Who doesn't know Li Nanxing? Everybody knows him lah. Quite a famous, popular, yesteryear, actor from TCS. So he also came up with his Hey Li Yam. Of course, he's selling for about, how much is it? Like 15.90 for a 200-gram jar. And I spotted this at the petrol kiosk. So when I make my exo sauce, before I embark on this exo sauce recipe, I looked at in the market what do people use in exo jiang, and then I eliminate those things that I think they are not on my list of preferred ingredients, and then I go to the TCM book to find out which are some of the ingredients. Which are some of the ingredients, as well as there are plenty of ingredients that can go well with prawns and scallops. For example, in the TCM book, prawns do not go well with pumpkin. Just for your information. Some of this combination can upset your tummy, or sometimes it cancels out the nutritional value. I'm sure you know, like sometimes a white carrot cannot go with red carrot because it cancels out each other. So where possible, we try to cook basing on the TCM guidelines. Yeah. So I've done my kind of research, and I'm glad my first batch of exo sauce got great reviews. So now whether I'm gonna make in bulk and sell cheap or sell lelong price, no, I may not have the time to do that. So I only want to share the products with people who believe that, hey, you know what, I can get a nice quality sauce from a person who is eating that sauce herself. Okay. So in a nutshell, I like to, these are the two items that I can comfortably make and put them in the freezer. This is a very freezer friendly exo sauce. Even my cakes, the cakes that I make, they are super freezer friendly. I actually slice them into maybe a block for two slices when I take it out. So maybe I cut them into four sections, and then I'll deep freeze them because they are olive oil based. Okay, and they freeze very well. I'm sure you have seen frozen cakes in the supermarket, right? But if you read the ingredients, it's got color lah, this flavoring, that flavoring. Well, I try not to eat any of those things where possible, because over time they just get into your system. Okay, well, that's all I have to share. Do you have any questions?